Rebel it hard, settle your mind. Rebel it hard, travel through time. Rebel it hard, settle your mind. Reading a message. Rebel it hard, travel through time. Always rebellious.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Colby Rebel Show. I am your host, Colby Rebel, where my goal is to make that connection or that message for you. And today we have a very, very special guest. So we have Rachel Lang. Now, some of you already know her, but for those of you who don't, she is an astrologer, an author, a spiritual teacher, and a community leader who blends intuition with activism. So creativity is her sweet spot, all right, with public service and a magic with grounded real world change. But most importantly, I consider her one of my dearest friends. So Rachel is actually the author of the Modern Day Magic 8 Simple Rules to Realize Your Power and Shape Your Life. She also is As Above, So Below, and she constantly, I'm telling you, regularly contributes to any astrological reading she possibly can. She does retreats and workshops at the Omega Institute, the Shift Network, and please put your hands together for my friend, your astrologer today, Rachel Lang. Hello, Rachel.
Hi, Colby. Thank
Hi.
you so much. What a great introduction.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yes. I want to know how life in Ojai is at the moment.
Life in Ojai. Ojai is so beautiful. It is just one of the most magical places in the world. So life in Ojai is always pretty good, actually.
Good.
Yeah.
I know you've had so much going on. I find that there's not just one part of ourselves, right? There's several aspects to ourselves that, need to be expressed. And I know for you, it is the intuition. It is certainly the astrology. It is the activism. It is being a partner. So for you, how do you find balance with all of the aspects of your life?
That's such a great question. I'm a Libra. And Libra is a sign of balance. And so I think about balance a lot. And I think the most important thing for me is that I have to make time for the things that I love to do and my creativity. So every Sunday is my creative day.
Okay.
And so I'll be in my art studio or I'll be writing. I'm working on my next book right now. Or sometimes playing music, dancing around the house. And I find that just resourcing myself in that way keeps me energized for everything else that I have going on in my life. Yeah.
I love that. I know I've got 3 books to write and no time to write them. So maybe I need to take part Libra.
Oh, here, I'm going to give you my astrological tip.
Okay.
So the sun is every day of the week. There's a planet associated with it. The Sunday is the sun, Monday is the moon, Tuesday is Mars, Wednesday is Mercury, Venus is Friday, Jupiter is Thursday, Saturn is Saturday. So every day of the week, you have something in your chart that gets lit up. Okay. And so my sun is in Libra, which is a sign that relates to art and all of those things. So I picked Sunday. You're in Aries. So Tuesday actually might be your day.
Okay. Got it. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Tuesday is a pretty big work day, so I can completely understand that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know, with what you are doing, what do you feel most passionate about? Is there a pull in one particular direction over another for you?
Right now, it's definitely my public service.
Okay.
We're living in such an important time. There's so much happening politically, globally, not just in the state of California or in my community or in the United States. And we're really at this turning point. Astrologically, we're at a huge turning point new cycles beginning, new paradigms starting. And so I feel really passionate about making a difference for the next generations.
Okay.
Yeah. I also love, like I said, the creative process. And, because we're getting ready to teach a writing retreat,
We
that's
are.
there's nothing more important than, I think, for everybody who feels like they haven't had a chance to use their voice, for everybody to tell their story and to be a
Yes.
part of creating the world that we want to see.
Yeah.
So,
And what's it so interesting, I know with my clients, and maybe you do with yours as well, you can see or feel or hear or know there's a book within them.
yeah,
And they'll
totally.
say all the time, I've been thinking about it. I really want to, but A, I don't know how to curate the time, or B, well, I'm not really that special. Like my story is not special. And it's like, your story is special because it's yours. It's your fingerprint. And to understand that it is special. Now, we've lived through it. Like I've lived through my life. You've lived through yours. So does it seem special to me? Probably not. But when I explain it to someone else, they're like, what? What? From the juicy details to the transition. And so every single one of us deserves to tell our story. And why not better at our Ojai retreat, right? Which is going to be, and the thing is that popped in from Spirit. And I know I reached out to you and we just were on the same page right away.
Yeah.
And now it's almost sold out, which is so incredible. But we go back to your Libra. And for both of us, balance was really important. Like we need a retreat with balance, not to sit them at desks for 8-hour days, but how to make sure they're spiritually connecting to themselves, to their higher selves. And taking a weekend of rest as well as creativity and joy. So we've got everything covered not that I would cook for them because I'm not a big cook.
Or me neither.
We have a chef curated menu. So it is, I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I know all of those that are attending already are coming. So we'll put a little banner up just in case somebody else is interested or like, oh, I didn't know you were having a retreat. Yes, we are. It's April 16th through the 19th in beautiful Ojai at a beautiful space that we're both very excited about.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. And that balance piece, I think, you and I, it was so important to us because I think when you have a writer's block or when you have a book inside of you that you need to write, it's really hard to carve out the time.
Yes.
And being in nature, being with a community of really supportive people can help to light a fire underneath you. And then you have accountability. So it's like everyone who comes to this retreat is going to leave an author.
Yes.
You're not just going to be a writer.
Yes,
you're going to leave an author.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for you, when you, again, have these different areas of your life calling you and doing it, how do you connect to your clients? What do you feel is what they resonate most with you?
I think that many of my clients are looking for guidance.
Yeah.
They're looking for direction, wanting some confidence in making wise choices. And especially when there is so much uncertainty in the world right now, I think it can really help to just have a sounding board for these are the things I'm thinking about. And so that's one thing. And then I think there's another thing, and that is that we all want to experience magic. And what I mean by that is like a sense that we're a part of something bigger. That we're a part of a spirit realm, that we're connected to our loved ones in spirit, that we're connected to the bird that flies in front of us, that gives us a message. And so I think that's what we're all craving right now. I mean, we have more connection than ever through technology, but we're still feeling disconnected.
That's right. There's no connection between people. And I'm not saying that there's no connection, but there is a need or a desire for more community. There's a need or a desire to have companionship, and as you said, to recognize if that bird comes in and stops, what is it saying? Who is it? Who is it from? And not just to keep walking with our heads down. And so that's a big, big part of it. So I know you wrote Modern Day Magic, 8 Simple Rules to Realize Your Power, Shape Your Life. Tell us about this amazing book, please.
Thank you. So that book, it's basically how to access your own spiritual power. So it talks about things like, what do you do with the full moon? You know, do you put out your crystals? Do you have a ritual? We talk about all the different ways that you can make more magic in your everyday life. So it's not just this thing that only happens in these dynamic moments, that it's something that you can experience every single day.
Yeah.
And I like to think of it as, you know, that one line in The Wizard of Oz that Glinda the Good Witch says, that you had the power all along, my dear.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Perfect. Yes.
So that's like the underlying theme of the whole book.
Yeah. Great. So what do you feel when we look into astrology? How easy or difficult is it for someone to understand their own chart, to understand their own path so that they know how to align their day or their week or their month or their goals?
Anyone can learn astrology. It's a lot of math, but you don't need to know all the math to get those questions about what's my purpose? Why do I get into these same patterns with relationships?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do with my life? You can learn just a few basics, and it's accessible now more than it was when I first started learning 30 years ago.
Wow.
You know, we had to draw out a chart by hand and do all kinds of calculations.
That
now
reminds
you
me
can
of
open
accounting, the general
I know.
ledger.
Yes, oh my gosh, that's right. Yeah. We both have that mathematical, technical experience that we bring into our spiritual work.
But maybe we shouldn't age ourselves.
No, that's true.
Back in my day, you had to handwrite everything.
Yeah.
With a pencil. They don't even have pencils anymore.
And we wrote in cursive.
Oh my God. Can you believe? I know. I will not digress, but
I know.
Now I know we speak of Ojai as a vortex. You know, I was about to say, and then I wanted to correct myself. Everyone knows Ojai is a vortex, but maybe not everyone does know. And so for those who don't know, explain to them what a vortex is and why Ojai is a vortex and what are the benefits of that.
Yeah. So there are some places in the world when you're there, you feel grounded, you feel like anything can happen.
Yeah.
And so places that are considered vortexes are places where your dreams, you can plant the seeds for your dreams to come to fruition.
Oh, perfect.
And it's here, I'm going to give you an example. So when I first moved to Ojai, I really wanted to, we had these lime trees, and I really wanted to make madeleines, which are these cookies that you have to have a mold for, like a little special dish. And I was like, oh, I really want to make madeleines. A week later, I'm not even joking you, someone put on the Buy Nothing group on Facebook a madeleine tray that she was giving away.
I love it.
And it was like down the street from me. And I thought, instant manifestation.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, but even more out of the manifestation context, it's a place where you can connect with your soul.
Yeah. And
you can connect with other people's souls. And so we moved there because you really feel the sense of community.
Yeah.
It's small town and it's surrounded by nature. We have a thing called the pink moment, where the mountain turns pink at sunset, and it's this phenomenon. Have you seen it? Have you ever?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard of it. You know, the vortex also, I almost look at it too, as well as connecting to our higher selves and connecting to each other. Because it's the vortex, it opens up and it allows us to connect to the center of the universe.
Yes.
You get to generally plug right in, right? And go. And then you feel, the one thing about a vortex is it charges you. It gives you like the external battery. Kids will drain it. Vortexes charge it.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. And I feel like it's a beautiful way to plug in, to connect, and to get it. And when we are plugged in to the vortex, because you're in your higher self, because you're feeling charged and energetic and connected to the center of the universe, your creativity is just going to go off the charts. right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure, because I know you were in Palm Desert before, right? And which is also very beautiful, but
Yeah,
just a
very,
different energy. And
very
so
much
when we
so.
look at that energy versus Ojai, I'm sure once you got there, it was like, I need to do this and this and that. And from
It's so
planning a
true.
garden to painting to writing to teaching
Yes.
to activism.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's a little bit too about Big Bear. I mean, I love Big Bear.
I was just
And
going to ask you about that.
yeah, and there's nothing that feels better. I know later in the year you're going to come help me with the Ascension retreat,
I know.
but
I'm so
there's
excited.
nothing better than taking someone through the mountains, through nature, and to
Mhm.
remind them that it's okay to be mindful. It's okay to be present. You know, it's
Mhm.
okay to open your heart to one
Yeah.
another and allow that vulnerability and allow that subliminal communication to happen,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, one of the feelings that I have is, it's been a beautiful journey to just see how you've honed not just who you are, but how you want to be of service to the world.
Mm.
And that's
Thank you.
beautiful, right? It's
Thank
really
you.
interesting to go, hey, this is what I'm passionate about, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to find a way to do it. And,
Yeah.
the hardest thing, I will tell you this, and I know we talked about this a little bit privately, that not everyone is going to like you, right? Not everyone's going to
Yes.
like me. However, I do want to give a little nugget from Dr. Drew Pinsky, who is such a dear friend of mine. He
Yeah.
said, Colby, if someone isn't criticizing you, you're playing it too safe. And I thought,
I love that.
okay, all right, Dr.
Yeah.
Drew, I got this.
I love that.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So absolutely. So that is, the idea, the goal is to kind of go, okay, let's find this, let's see this, and to open ourselves up to being honest and authentic and to know that we do have that voice, as we've been saying,
Absolutely. Yeah. Can I ask you a question about your
Sure.
writing process?
Yes.
Because you've written 3 books. You've
Mhm.
written 3 books now, and you speak all over the world. And I love watching your tour, all of your tour
Oh,
posts.
thanks.
Like,
Yeah,
there
thank
she
you.
goes again.
There
Look
she
at
is.
her.
She's off somewhere.
Yeah, I know. I love that. You're such an inspiration, truly.
Thank you.
But when you went through your first book, because I think that's a breakthrough book.
Yes.
Were you reflecting, like self-reflecting on what people would want to hear, or was there any like inner resistance that you were working through?
No, I feel for me. So I also am one of those people. It's, when I do write, I'm not one of those people that's going to take 6 months or a year and let it percolate. I'm just the Aries in me. It all percolates here. And then I sit down and get it all done within 3 months, right? It just
That's
comes
amazing.
out. And
Wow.
so that's kind of how I operate. But the first book was a little bit easier just because it was how to build your spiritual business. And so there was a sense for me of urgency. I had just left the accounting career and I wanted to get it all out. What did I know? What did people need to know? It's not just, oh, let me start this spiritual business and then, the universe will take care of me. It's like, no, there's actually some obligations and considerations and things that you need to do. So that for me, what created a sense of urgency. And I just wrote it. I really didn't think about how it would be received. I was only hoping it would help people who needed it. And so I was very surprised at how well it has been received. And what's super kind of cool and interesting about the 3 books. So there's Lizzie I met in England at the Arthur Findlay College. Now, she's just an amazing doll. She's obviously an incredible psychic medium, but she's an artist. I don't know what to say. I don't want to say quirky, but it's so unique. It's like a one-off greeting card. It's so special. So I love that about her. So I actually had her design all 3 covers of my books. And I love it. Like they just had this feel or this theme to them. And, it's been beautiful. And when I wrote that book too, honestly, Rachel, what I do want to say is I had so much help. Like My old accounting boss, he wrote, my photographer wrote. I had so many experts come forward and say, yeah, I will absolutely be happy to contribute my expertise and to help someone. And so the book is not just me, it's a collaboration of all these other wonderful experts in various areas. So the hardest part, though, I do feel that when we write something more vulnerable or something more about ourselves, I have a very dear friend that asked me to write a book jacket quote for her coming out book. And I mean, this book, I have to tell you, is raw. It is heartfelt. It is gut wrenching, but incredible. And what bravery she had in writing it and not making it fluffy or polished. And so I'm sure for her, that was a massive deep dive into, I'm going to put this out into the world. And then one of the other things I want to ask you before we stop, I see so many people preventing themselves from writing because something they want to write about, they don't want to hurt someone in the living. Maybe there's abuse or maybe, infidelity, or maybe they just, whatever the ache may be, they don't want to kind of broadcast it. But, I feel like there is a way to do that. And your truth is important. And we can't wait until everyone around us transitions before we tell our truth.
Yeah, you're so right. And it's so interesting because my wife, Tisha Morris, is an entertainment attorney. And one of the things that she does is she legal vets memoirs.
Okay.
To make sure that people are telling a story that's not going to be a liability. And really what I've learned from her throughout that process is that when you write it from your perspective,
your experience, that's right.
Your experience, there are ways to do it so artfully to where you are capturing the emotion and the raw essence, like you're the one that you were just talking about.
Yes.
That you can do that and it's not a violation of anyone's privacy or anything like that. So I will say that there are people like Tisha out in the world who can help you. So just get it out there. I mean, I love Annie Lamott has a quote from the book Bird by Bird, which is write your first shitty draft. You just get it out there.
Just
get
write
your
it.
story out there, and then edit it and edit it and edit it. And my wife Tisha is working on a memoir right now. She's a brilliant writer, and she's going to speak at our retreat. But she's writing a memoir right now, and she's actually she had me read some of the parts that I'm involved in, and I'm like, nope, do not put that in there. And other things I'm like, I love, yes, keep this. But she told me that the process of rewriting it for her has made her a better writer.
Yeah.
And so I think
we all know the first draft is not the final draft.
No.
Right? The first draft is just the start. But, again, I am so passionate about this writers retreat. I think we're going to have a great time. We're going to have a great weekend. I feel like there's going to be so much bonding and so much joy in it. So I'm really grateful that you are doing it with me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you. Thank you. I've been wanting to do this for years. And when you brought the idea to me, it feels like this is the moment.
This is it.
If there ever was a moment for someone to tell their story, this is it. Because we need your voices out in the world.
And just in general, voices are needed in the world. So for anyone out there, if you can volunteer or help out or show up, anything that you can do, don't feel that your voice doesn't matter, because it does matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Rachel, I know you're heading out of town, so I do want to thank you so much for joining me and being here. And so excited you made the time for us here on the Colby Rebel Show. I will make sure we put the links in the notes. But for those listening live, please tell them where they can find you.
My website is rachellangastrologer.com. And I'm on Instagram and TikTok as Rachel Lang Official, and on YouTube at The Rachel Lang Show.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you,
Lots
Colby.
of love to you. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right. Bye.
All right, besties, that's a wrap for the Colby Rebel Show. Thanks so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed the show, please head on over to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review, and keep the chat going over on Instagram at Colby Rebel Medium. Each week, I'll have a new guest or live readings and so much more beyond the veil. But until then, my friends, remember, shine your light and shine it bright. Until next time.